Thank you for watching Infographic Instant with Brian Michael. In this episode, we're going to ask where was or is customs corruption in Central and Eastern Europe. Before we discuss the infographic you see in front of you, let's talk a little bit about the paper from which this infographic comes. That paper asks the question, what is the relationship between trade facilitation, between the development of a customs agency, and between bribe-taking behavior in customs in general? What we find is that incremental reform of a customs agency usually does not succeed either in increasing the efficiency of that customs agency or in fighting corruption. Customs directors need to tackle all of these issues at once through a Big Bang style reform if they hope to tackle this multi-headed monster of high bribe taking, low efficiency, and lack of trade facilitation by traders crossing that country's borders. So let's look at the infographic now and see what it tells us about corruption, at least what it used to tell us about corruption. These data come from several years ago, and to the extent that things have changed, they're no longer valid. However, as the viewer probably knows, things do not change very rapidly, particularly in former Soviet Union. Therefore, some of these data might still be relevant. As we see, there's pockets where corruption in customs almost doesn't exist, and we're focusing mostly on the Eastern EU member states, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary. Poland has pockets of corruption, particularly in the central parts. And there's pockets of corruption in Bosnia, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Kosovo, and particularly those areas of Turkey which border Europe. Corruption tends to be worse in Ukraine and in the western part of Russia, and in the northern and southern parts of Kazakhstan. On the map, you can also see areas of highly concentrated corruption, and to take some examples, Kiev, Bucharest, several cities in Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan. As a welcome exception to the rule, we see Skopje in Macedonia as a relatively clean area surrounded by a general customs administration that has medium level of bribe taking according to the scale we use in the infographic. Now, what does this tell us about corruption in customs more generally? Well, to the extent that we can generalize, we clearly see pockets of bribery probably following trade patterns in the region. So for example, trade between Russia and Ukraine at the time, or trade between Kazakhstan and Russia at the time. And we also see corruption focused on economic centers, thinking of the capitals of Kiev and Bucharest. So following the golden dictum of corruption, anytime there's money, there's the potential for bribe taking or bribe seeking. We see that the data support these conclusions in this infographic. This has been Infographic Instant with Brian Michael.